Glynis, and I'm back again doing another video to teach you more about our custom blended skincare oils. And in this video, we're actually not going to look at using the oil to care for your face. We're actually going to look at how we can use this product to create a really nice mask for your hair, treatment for your hair, and also for your scalp. Now, what we don't want to do is actually just apply your face product directly to the hair and to the scalp. That is much too strong. We're going to dilute it and put it into another oil, a carrier oil, that is going to provide additional benefits for your hair. And what we really need to be sure of when we do this is what kind of skin you have on your scalp and what kind of hair issues you have. Do you have dry hair? Do you have oily hair? And then you'll be able to determine which treatment is going to be best for you. So why don't we talk for a moment about our oils that we could use as our base or carrier oils. This one here is 100% cold pressed, pure, unrefined coconut oil. This is an exceptionally good product. When you go on the internet, you're going to find rave reviews about it everywhere. But then every now and then you're going to find a really horrible review. The only people that should be using this kind of product in their hair are people that lack protein in their hair. If you already have a lot of protein in your hair and you apply this as a treatment, eventually it's going to make your hair kind of look dull and brittle and not very full, be a little bit lifeless. But if you have a protein issue, this would be a really good choice. Olive oil. As long as it's a good quality olive oil, this is an exceptional product for your hair. If you tend to have dry hair or hair that is maybe wiry and coarse, this would be a really good alternative. It is pretty heavy and a little harder to wash out, but it's really going to nourish those kinds of strands of hair. Right here we have sunflower oil, and again we're looking at a completely cold pressed version so that we're getting all of the benefits of the oil. This has antioxidants in it, it has fatty acid, it has great moisturizing properties, and it's a very light oil. So if you have fine hair, thin hair, this would probably be a good product. It wouldn't weigh your hair down too much. And the final product that I want to look at is castor oil. You want to make sure that you get a good quality castor oil because it's a very effective tool. You don't want to put this one on your product, or pardon me, on your hair as the only product you're going to use because it's very, very heavy, but it has great cleansing properties and it will really nourish your scalp. It's excellent for hair loss, treating an oily scalp that maybe has some acne on it. It's very good for those, if you happen to have maybe a bit of eczema or psoriasis, it's really nice for that too. But we're only going to use a very, very small amount of that and maybe mix it in, with the sunflower oil or an olive oil. Today, we're going to demonstrate how to do this and how this product works. So I'm just going to go away for a second and I'm going to get my lovely helper to come along and we are going to show you how to mix up this product. Okay, so I'm back with Brianna, my lovely assistant for today. She's going to help us learn how to use this product to treat our hair and our scalp. Just before we get started, the things that you're going to need to do this are you're going to need a glass container in which to mix your oils. It's very important that it be glass. If it's plastic and you heat oil in it, it's going to leach chemicals into your product and you really don't want that. You're going to need whatever oils you're going to use as your base or your carrier oil. And then you're going to need your custom formula skincare oil to add into your product. And of course, we're also going to need some shampoo and conditioner because eventually we are going to want to get this oil out of our hair. Over here we have some shower caps. There's a couple of ways that you can make hot oil treatments work in your hair. Of course, you can apply heat directly to it. I prefer to heat up my oil and then apply a shower cap, and then the heat of your body is actually going to do the work for you if you can leave it on for a little while. And of course I have a towel just in case we have any spills. You want to be sure you're not wearing some clothes that you're particularly attached to when you do this because the oils can stain a little bit. Okay, so today Brianna has some oily scalp, just like she has some oily skin, and so we're going to make sure that we're going to treat her scalp as well as her hair. If you don't really have any condition with your scalp, no eczema, pimples, oily skin, it's pretty good, no dandruff, do not apply the product to your skin. You're only going to apply it to maybe the bottom half of your hair because that's usually the hair that requires treatment the most. However, if you happen to have problem skin on your face, you're very likely to also have a similar kind of problem skin on your scalp. So today what we're going to put in this particular one is going to help with the problems of the oily scalp. We've picked a very light carrier oil, and that would be the sunflower oil. I could also use olive oil, but it's a little bit heavier and I don't think her hair really needs about that much moisture. So I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons. be perfect and exact on this. You can also make it ahead and store it in the fridge, and you'll be able to use it multiple times. So again, just a couple of tablespoons of that. Now, I do want to add castor oil because castor oil is very good for acne skin, and it's also very good for oily skin. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit on my teaspoon. I'm not going to put a whole teaspoon. Maybe half would probably be good because it's very thick and gooey, this oil. So in that one goes. Now this is where we're really going to boost the power of our hot oil treatment. We are going to add in whatever our customized skincare oil was. Now I would probably add about 10, maybe 15 drops, depending on how big a batch you're going to be making. Okay, now I'm just going to give that a little mix. We want to make sure all the oils are combined. Okay, now it's really important that when you go to heat your oil, we don't really need to put the lid on, let's leave that off. It's really important that when you go to heat your oil, you don't heat your oil in the microwave. And I know a lot of people tell you not to heat oils in the microwave because it loses the power of its benefits and properties, which is true. But the real reason I don't want you to heat it in the microwave is I don't want you to get burned. Oil has very little water in its molecules, and it's the water and molecules that microwaves really use to sort of excite those water molecules and get your food cooked. So what happens when you try to heat oil in a microwave is a container gets really hot and the oil doesn't get very hot at all. And so there's a really big case that you might get burned. So what I like to do is I just like to take a bowl of hot water and I go ahead and I place my product in there for a few minutes. You can just put your finger in and test it because you know that the water you put in there isn't boiling hot, and so you're not likely to burn yourself. Your oil doesn't need to be extremely, extremely hot. It needs to be warm enough to feel soothing on the scalp and to help open the pores. Okay, so we're back now and our product's nice and warm, and so we're going to apply it to the scalp and the hair. Because a little bit goes a long way, you don't want to pour a whole bunch in your hand. What I generally do is I just dab my fingers in and just apply the product to your fingertip. So you're going to begin with the scalp. So we'll start right at the part and we're just going to massage it into the scalp. And I'm just going to move your hair a little bit. We want to make sure that we get it at the hairlines because typically this can be a spot where there's either hair loss, acne, or problems like that. So we want to make sure that we apply the product to the hairline. And then I'm going to move up underneath the hair and make sure the entire scalp has been massaged and had the oil distributed evenly. This might take a minute or two, depending on how much hair you have. But it's really important that you do the massage as well as apply the product, because if it's not applied enough, you're not really going to get the benefits. And these oils that we've used are actually pretty light. They should be pretty easy to remove. If they've been left on for at least 20 minutes, half an hour, you're going to find that they've probably absorbed in pretty well because you massaged them when you put them on. If you have hair loss, you want to make sure that wherever your hair loss is occurring, that you spend extra time massaging that area, because often the health of your scalp is the main reason that you're having problems with hair loss or unhealthy hair. So you want to make sure that the whole scalp is covered. Now when you're done, your scalp massage, you could massage it probably for 2 to 3 minutes. It encourages blood flow and it also encourages the product to penetrate into the skin. And both of these things are really good for the health of your scalp. Now we want to apply some product to the rest of the hair. You don't want to saturate it all the way from the roots. You want to apply it to the areas that it's going to do the most benefit. You don't want this part of your hair to be super oily. So we're going to start about halfway down, and we do not need to saturate the hair. It's completely unnecessary. You'll be left with an oily mess and you'll have to be washing your hair multiple times to remove the product. So again, I'm just applying it where I think it's going to do the most good. We've finished applying the the oil to Brianna's scalp. We massaged it in and we put it on just the ends of the hair from about halfway down. And as you can see, or I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it clearly, but we still have about half of the oil left. So it really doesn't take a lot of product to make this work. The next thing we want to do is encourage the hair to absorb the oil and the scalp to absorb the oil by using extra heat. And we're just going to use the heat of the body. We're not going to use anything too extreme. So I'm just grabbing from my local dollar store disposable shower caps. These are perfect for holding the heat in that comes off your head and creating a nice humid environment for the oil. So we're just going to put Brianna's hair up because otherwise it's going to be a little bit hard to get into the shower cap. Oops, I missed a bit. This doesn't have to be pretty. We just want it to stay up long enough that we can put the shower cap on. If it wants to fall out after that, that's perfectly okay. So you want to make sure that you get all the hair inside because the heat is what's going to help the product work. Now, generally what I would do if I wanted to leave it on for an extra treatment or if I had specifically dry hair, I might apply additional heat with a hairdryer and then wrap a towel around it to hold the heat in. The minimum amount of time that you're going to want to leave this cap on is about 20 minutes. Many people leave it on for hours. Some people even like to leave it on overnight if they have a really bad scalp condition. You're just going to have to make sure you thoroughly wash it out. If you have applied the product to your scalp, when you do your hair and you're washing it, make sure that you concentrate your massage with your shampoo along the scalp before you clean the ends of your hair because you don't want to wind up with greasy scalp. So right now, we're going to pause for a moment and we're going to get her hair to absorb all the oil and then we're going to show you what it looks like when we're done.